Hello and welcome to the Community Voice. I am Fara Sax. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'd also like to thank Julian Chang Boutique for styling me today. The journey today, though, our guest for this interview is an electronic engineer turned certified coach and author. Joining me today is Mario Vazquez. Thank you so much for joining me and wanting to tell your story, and I love people's journeys.
Well, thanks, Farah. First of all, let me thank you for the opportunity to address your audience. I'm very excited about this, and hope I can pass the message clear.
And absolutely, that's your job, is helping people create their message, helping them in their journey and in their life's work. So how did this begin for you? Let's go all the way back, and where you grew up and how that influenced part of the work that you're doing.
Well, yeah, I been a CEO and general manager for companies for 25 years. I learned that you need a team to work and you need to motivate the team. And I really enjoy seeing my people growing as a team and flying by themselves. And that's a big satisfaction. And I learned that down the way. So 15 years ago, I ended up writing a book. And the book showed me the way to really become a coach that I never had in mind, becoming a coach.
And it was this book.
Yeah, that book I wrote.
And now what?
Well, first of all, I wrote the book because I learned 15 years ago that my first granddaughter was on the way. And I said, okay, I already planted a tree and I already have kids and now grandsons, so I need to write a book. So I said, okay, I always did business plans. I said, I'm going to make a business plan book. When I started, I said, that's boring. I need to do something different. So I changed it for a life plan.
Y Ahora Qué is the name.
Yeah, Ahora Qué, which is now what? And it's a guide to use planning to help with your life, really. Because it's amazing, but many people doesn't have a clear idea of where they want to be. Or if they don't have a plan to do it. So in a day by day, you need really to work at least a little bit on your life plan. And that's what I'm showing there.
So walk us through that, because you take this into your work as well. So you have this book.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Spanish.
Unfortunately, right now it's in Spanish because I'm from Mexico. My wife and I came to live to Miami 2 years ago because.
How do you like it here? It's just between us. What do you think of Miami so far?
If you take the hot weather away, that will be the paradise. but it's. I mean, life is very good. We had the opportunity to live here in Brickell, in front of the sea. It's a very nice place. And our only 4 grandsons are here. So that was the motivation to
That's
come.
the gift, is to have your family close by.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, but how do you go from electronic engineer to a life coach, author, and a life changer for people that want to make a change in their journey in life?
Well, as I said, a little bit with experience with my team works, I learned that if you help people to grow, you grow with them. And it's a huge satisfaction down the road. And even today, I met people that said, hey, remember me? And it's 25, 40 years ago. So when I turned 60, and that's a little bit 5 years after I wrote the book, I said, okay, I'm going to retire. But then I said, well, I don't see myself retired. So why not continuing helping other people to grow? And it could be young executives or mature executives, wives, husbands, kids. I'm meaning 18 years older. Everybody needs a little bit of shake to turn on and see where they are heading. No?
Do you find that the younger generation versus someone that might be mature, that they're a little bit different in what they want and what they see their life's mission is? How does that change as one gets older, and how do you work with them in your coaching?
Okay, let me start making an explanation of coaching, because people sometimes get confused a little bit. Um, Let me explain first what is not coaching. In one extreme, you have psychoanalysis that helps the people to solve a problem, deep problem in their mind. That you need to go to therapy for that. And many people confuses coaching as a therapist. We are not therapists. In fact, we as a professional coach, if we find a person who really needs professional help in terms of her health or his health, mental health, we need to turn them to a professional psychologist. So that's the first thing. And the difference also in that is that you could be for life in a therapy, no?
I hope not.
No, yeah, I hope not too. But many people sees regularly his help in
Absolutely.
therapy. And coaching not. Coaching is 10 sessions that help you to turn around and move to another place where you want to go. First of all, understand where you want to go and how to go there. That's what is coaching, because coaching is transportation.
So in the book, you break this up. You break up the journey. So let's talk about how that happens in the coach.
Okay, just let me say the other extreme is the consultant. I've been a consultant. I'm still doing some consulting because I'm old, and that's a big advantage to be consultant. But a consultant is not a coach. As a consultant, when I'm with executives doing coaching, sometimes they want advice. Hey Mario, with your experience, what you will do in this? And that's not a coach. That's a consultant. Because a consultant, you pay him to tell you what to do. In coaching, we will help the other person or the other people to find a way to do things.
So this becomes an internal search with the coaching
yes.
versus consulting. The other work that you do is really giving them the plan by telling them this is the road map to success.
Exactly.
So this is more of an internal job, and yet it does probably deal with some psychology because you have to think about what your wants and your needs and where you see yourself going in the future.
Absolutely. I tell my coaches, is the way I call it.
What do you call them?
Coaches.
Coaches.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Yeah, it's like a partnering. It's not a customer, it's a partnering. Together we're going to solve a situation, but you are going to do the work. I'm going to guide you, right? What I tell them is, look at myself like a mirror. I'm a mirror that I'm going to be cleaning slowly, so you will see yourself to solve your life. That's it.
So how do you start? I'm now your client. Walk me through the process in English. How that would work, facilitated with your book and with our partnership.
That's a great question.
So that our audience can reach out to you and for more information, which is proguide.pro to get more information. That's your website to get more information and to reach Mario, of course.
Right. It's very simple. The first step is to find yourself. Which are the main roles in your life? We all have different roles in the life. I mean, there could be 10, 12 roles, like being a son, being a father, being a friend, doing some exercise for yourself to grow, etc. So the first step is to find out which are the 7 or 8 more important or relevant roles for you. And it sounds easy, but many people doesn't do that exercise. When you start to see yourself in that mirror and say, okay, what is more important for me, my kids or my fathers, my parents, which are very old, for example. So you need to start to analyze that and define the priorities and the goals you want to achieve in all that roles. You cannot play all the roles. I mean, time is very, very limited. So you need to define which roles you are selecting to play with and to grow. For example, I have the opportunity in my coaching to help executives that, let me just make a quick parenthesis. The CEO, I've been a CEO, is the loneliest people in the world.
You're talking CEO of companies.
Of a company, the head of a company, the president of a company, because they don't have anybody to talk to cry on their shoulder or because you are supporting the company, right? But in your person, when you start to think to yourself, you find that you need help. You need someone not to guide you, but to help you to find your way. That's that's I think is the key of the coaching.
Isn't that hard for CEOs or upper management to say, I'm in maybe not a crisis, but I do need guidance in my own life to, my relationship not only with the world, but with myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess that's where it all starts. And with your coaching is your own self-concept.
Yeah, as you said, as older are the people, it's harder to recognize that you need help. That's for sure. But in the real life, when they, for example, when they get a new position, and that's what I get more often, the young executives that are moved from one position to another, a promotion, but they feel insecure. Even though that they have all the tools and experience, they are scared, but they don't recognize it openly. So,
what's the fear? Where does the fear come? Fear of failure, fear
fail.
of success?
No, basically to fail. I mean, when you're moving...
It seems like it's a universal problem, and no matter position in life,
Well, and if you add now the new technologies like artificial intelligence, for example, we all hear every day that some positions are being replaced by a machine, right? That's what's happening all the time since the Industrial Revolution, 100 years or 150 years ago. But the key point is to find out what you are good to do, what you love to do, which is different. I mean, I'm good doing something, I love doing something, and what capabilities I have. The intersection of those three is part of what I do, helping the people, saying, okay, this is what you like, this is what you are good for, and this is what the market is willing to pay for you. Because maybe I love playing guitar, but if I dedicate my life to playing guitar, I will be asking for money in the streets.
Mario, I wish you would have brought your guitar today. I would have had you play. I would have had that moment for you.
Yeah, but believe me, you don't want to.
So once you identify basically the roles that you play, what's our next step in working together as a coach?
I use a tool that we call it the Wheel of Life, where you use a diagram to put really in ponderation from 0 to 10, which on the different roles, which are the ones that you want to really cultivate. The second step is to find out what are the problems that are bothering you. Because sometimes we don't recapacitate or we don't reflect on why I feel bad today. What's my problem? And many times it's fear. Other times it's the pressure. There are people that doesn't know how to manage pressure. So what we do as a coach is to guide you to solve that problem, to find out what's really the problem you are getting and how to solve it.
And one of the things we're talking about leadership, and let's go towards that. Based on your extensive experience in your leadership roles and as an engineer, what were some of the most important qualities you believe a leader should possess that you bring out in your coaching? Okay.
First of all, thanks. You already told me I'm old. Long experience. Yeah, that's one of the advantages of being old.
You're not old, but you do carry experience, and it's so interesting that you had like a second chapter, third act, whatever you want to call that. You went from really watching, observing, to be an active participant in others' lives and their success.
Yes, and it's a twofold. It's very interesting to see how you help the person that you are coaching, and sometimes it's very frustrating to see how deep they have a problem that sometimes, as I said at the beginning, need help from outside. So what I'm really doing is and as you put it, with my experience as an executive, what I'm doing is trying to not to be a consultant, not telling the people what to do, but knowing the problems that you have in life, not only in business, because I'm doing coaching for women that are at home, and I'm doing coaching for women which are young executives, or even for people who want to select a career. Because amazingly, but I'm proud to say that I've been working all my life in electronics and telecommunications up until my 60th anniversary. 70% of the people in the world doesn't work in what they ever studied or wanted. And it's very frustrating. So there is nothing more satisfying than working in what you love. And through my life, I learned that helping others is something that I really appreciate and enjoy. I really enjoy. When I finish coaching with someone in the 6th, 7th, 8th session, and they say, I'm a different person now. I solved the problem. And not only that, the idea is to teach them how to use the tools that everybody has to solve next problems. I don't want a coachee to call me 1 year later and say, Coach, I need more sessions because I'm back to square one.
Absolutely. And you were a former professor.
Yes.
So how does that impact the educational impact of that in the technology and management of what can be done better to prepare our young people for life?
Yeah, that's a super good question.
And we'd be making millions and millions, but that's
Yeah.
part of this process, is
Yeah.
teaching young people to be free thinkers and to go, like you say, dare to dream.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the main problems we all live is that people has to decide very young what they are going to do the rest of their lives. I mean, at what age you select college?
That's another thing. You know, our brains are young people. Their brains are not fully developed till they're 25. So how do they know what they want to do for the rest of their lives, and why do they have to make that decision?
That I think is one of the tools that we can provide with coaching, because it's opening their eyes to analyze where they are in that moment. Because, yeah, I mean, you are 18 years or 17 years and you have to decide that you're going to be an engineer for the rest of your life. And then you find out that you don't like mathematics or physics. And, you are too late, or you have to switch career. So one of the problems in education everywhere is that they start very young. The second thing I believe is starting to change is really teach to think. People don't think. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but you don't think. You just follow what they are telling you and moving like if you were in a river. No, you really need to take action to control the boat that you are in that river. So you need to
Is it
think.
because we haven't stopped? We are a doing nation, not a thinking nation. We're always in the act of something, instead of stopping and taking stock. And I think maybe that's what your coaching is about, is helping people stop, take a pause, breathe, and think. What is it that you really want? What is your passion? I think that's what you're getting at.
Absolutely. It's because the square one is to wait and think about your roles, select the ones you really, really want to continue living. So that's a break in your life and saying, okay, we're in a hurry. French says that the French people says that I'm in a hurry because I'm slowly because I'm in a hurry, right? So don't run before you don't know where you're going, because if you don't know where you are going, it doesn't matter what you do, right?
Absolutely, you'll always hit it with incredible accuracy at nowhere.
So we as a society are under pressure of many things. So you need to select which ones you take and how you're going to attack.
So in your book, one of your books, is it a roadmap? Is it is it a journaling experience? Is it and now what?
Yeah, well.
And then your second follow-up was coaching in
your
vida.
Life. Yeah.
How do you do in Spanish?
In your life.
Yeah, you're bilingual, and you teach in Spanish and in English, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And on the first book, what I'm doing is I started thinking that I'm going to help you to be successful. Mm-hmm. But then I said, okay, so what's being successful? What is success really? So the first chapter is really focusing on what is success for you, because whatever is success for you is not necessarily what's going to be success for me.
How long is this engagement with you? Is it months? Because you said between 6 to 8 to 10 times to get together.
Yeah, normally it's a session per week, and it's a maximum 10 sessions. I think only once I had 12 sessions, but that's all you need to fine tune everything and to start to move in a different direction.
That's wonderful. And what is the future goals? What are some of the aspirations that you feel both in your coaching practice and your professional life that would contribute to the process that you're helping corporations as well as individuals?
Well, basically, seeing the people growing. They're like kids. I mean, see them that they overcome the obstacles. First of all, that they identify the obstacle and they overcome it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really very satisfactory to see someone that is, hey, I'm a different person. Well, I mean, that's what I'm looking for, to change their lives for good.
Mm.
That's basically the idea.
And in the time left, let me know, what haven't we covered that you'd like to talk about, like to share about the books, about some of the work that you're doing and what you see as the future for your work?
Well, first of all, as you said, the book's in Spanish. I'm working on the English translation. But if you want to get it in Spanish, go to my email address or the phone, and I make the arrangement.
ProGuide.pro is your email address for more
Right.
information. And talk about that second book that we alluded to when we started.
The second book, I wrote it with my partner in coaching, Fernando. Zurita, he's coaches.
Hi, Fernando. If you're watching, hello.
Hopefully, yes. or he's doing a session. So we use part of this book to fine tune everything in a more particular focus on how to apply it for your life. Because the good news of this book is that it's quite general, but guides you from understanding yourself, finding what is success for you, and then defining your roles and focus on the goals you want to achieve in every role. And for that, you need a plan. So all my life I did planning. I was used to work in the Mexican phone company in the planning department, and I used to teach planning. I love planning. My wife says that I always be planning. Well, you need to implement what you are planning. If not, you are crazy. But for me, if you don't have a plan, you are walking without any guide. You don't know if you are going or coming. So that's what I'm trying to show in this book.
So you're a planner. What's your next plan?
Well,
in English, we're going to have these.
Yeah, I mean, first
books?
Finish the books in English. I like to write, and I'm writing a couple of novels. Hopefully, finish it sooner or later. It took me time to decide if it was going to be in English or Spanish, but I decided to do it in English.
Good.
The next step is to consolidate the coaching activity that I was doing in Mexico. We moved just 2 years ago to Miami. So I'm trying to use the experience that I have in Mexico to do it in Miami, doing the coaching, and spend time with my grandsons, of course. That was the key to coming down here, and it's a huge difference. We used to come to Miami every 3 months, 4 times a year, and it was really expensive. I mean, hotel, car, you name it. So now we have an apartment, and we live here, and we can move. They are in Pinecrest, so they are relatively very close.
That's wonderful. And your coaching, is it done in person?
That's another very good question.
Because I was like, Mexico might have been difficult, but maybe not.
Not only that, I've been doing coaching by Zoom also after the pandemic. We all learned to work.
I think the pandemic in some ways was helpful in teaching us how to save time and to reach each other in a different way. So in that respect, for your coaching business, I'm sure it was made it much easier.
Yeah, but also the advantage of coaching is that you can do it anywhere. We all need is a place to be the two of us, because it's a one-on-one, quiet place, no distractions, and focus on what we're going to do. So that could be in my office, which is in Brickell, or could be in the house of the person or in the office of the person, just a place that we can sit down and have a conversation for hour and a half. That's all you need.
Mario, I really appreciate this. I think I need to go visit you, or maybe we can do it here on set and talk about coaching and life's plan and having a direction. So, and I appreciate your time with me today.
I will be more than glad to help. And thanks for your time, really. I really enjoyed the conversation.
And I did too. And Mario actually is writing for Community Newspaper. You can see his articles next week coming out. Dare to Dream is his first launch with us. And thank you so much for being here. And
Thanks.
to get more information about Mario and his coaching, it's proguide.pro. So for Mario and I today, I want to thank you so much for joining me. I'm Fara Sax. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
And a special thank you to Julian Chang, who now has a second location in Pinecrest. Go visit his boutique for all your clothing and accessory needs.